Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. Today I'm going to make, it's really the always tender cube steak, but I'm going to give it a little Southwestern twist to it. It's a little bit different, but the cube steak is actually the same. Alright, so the very first thing we need to do is put some flour and salt on the cube steak, and then we're going to brown it. Now I've got my skillet up on medium-high. So now, I'm just going to take my cube steak, and we just got a little pack, put some salt on it, and then I'm going to dredge it in the flour. Now I'll put some salt on this other side, just flip it over. Right here, that's a really big piece. Flip this piece over, so I can do this without getting germs on my salt shaker. Alright, so now we're going to dredge this in the flour. And this is all-purpose flour. I actually try to sort of mash it in to the cube steak. Get a lot of flour on it. Now my pan's on medium-high, so I want it to brown pretty fast. This piece is really big, so I might actually just cut this piece in two because it's definitely too big. So I cut that big piece, let me make two, so we got four in here. And again, I just mash the flour into it as much as I can. Get all four pieces in here. And I did put some wax paper over my little plate with the flour, so I don't have to clean off all that flour from the plate. I mean, it'll go in the dishwasher still, but I don't have to clean all the flour off. Alright, so we got four pieces in there. Now I'm going to take some of that flour and just go ahead and sprinkle it in that oil, because this is going to make the gravy. Alright, we got it in the skillet, browning, up on medium-high, and once one side gets good and brown, we're going to flip it over, brown the other side, and then we'll be back. Okay, it took probably 10 minutes or so to brown the meat. Now I want to just take my spatula and make sure that nothing's sticking anywhere. That flour that we added is all good and brown now. Alright, so this is always tender cube steak with a Southwestern little style. I'm going to sprinkle in some hot Mexican style chili powder. Just a little bit right on the meat. And I'm going to go ahead and add some potatoes. These were bell peppers that were previously frozen. I'm going to sprinkle those around. A little bit of onion. I'm just going to slice that across. Now this is the stew like we had in Silver City, New Mexico several years ago. It was really good. Really good. Now they put jalapenos in theirs, and I don't really like mine that hot, so I just use the bell peppers, but you could use jalapenos. Okay. Now we're going to dump in a 16-ounce, let's see if that's 16 ounce, 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes. Dump that right in on top. And then add about 3/4 a cup of water. Just dump that in. Now I'm going to add a little more of the chili powder. Again, making sure nothing is sticking. Alright, everything's good. Alright, and the meat's on bottom, and there are all the vegetables on top. Alright, we're going to let this come right back up to a boil. Put the lid on it, and it's going to go in the oven at 350 degrees for an hour. And then it'll be ready. Now I'm going to come up with something green to serve with these and some rolls. So, alright, when this gets done, we'll be back about an hour. I wanted to come back before I put this in the oven, and I forgot to put salt. You'll definitely need salt on the potatoes, onions, and peppers. So just sprinkle that all around, because unlike the other always tender cube steak, we use teriyaki, which is very salty. But this one, we're really not adding any salt other than what's in the meat. So I put additional salt on there. We've got it coming up to a good boil now. And we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven. And once it's done for 1 hour at 350 degrees, we'll be back. Alright, it's been an hour and our always tender cube steak is done, along with the vegetables. Let me see if I can get one of these pieces of meat out there. Now the meat is just absolutely falling apart tender. There's one of the pieces right there. Alright, we're going to go ahead and I've got to warm up some rolls. Now these are the dinner rolls that I fix and freeze them, and then we usually just have 2 for a meal. So I've got to warm those up, and I'm going to go ahead and fix some of this creamed spinach. I don't like the fact that it says with artificial cream flavor, but anyway, we got these on sale. I think they were only $1 each here a couple of weeks ago, and so I'm going to fix some of this in the microwave to have with this meal, and when we get it all ready, we'll be back and I'll show you what it looks like on the plate. So we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, I have plated up the meal for today, and there it is, the always tender cube steak, and this will be just Southwestern style. Some creamed spinach, and there's one of our rolls. I left them in the oven a little too long, but anyway, this has got potatoes with it, and the tomatoes, peppers, and onions. Here's Mr. Bucky's plate, and of course we've got our tea ready, and so we're ready to eat. Now I want to this is my plate, so I want to show you how tender this is. Just take my fork, look at that. See how super tender it is? Alright, so the only difference in this and the regular always tender cube steak is I didn't use the teriyaki, and I used a can of diced tomatoes and put green bell peppers in it, and I also used some of the hot Mexican style chili powder, and just give it a little bit of Southwestern flavor. Alright, so we're ready to eat, and we will see y'all next time. Well, let me show you what I've got left in the skillet. There are 2 pieces there, and what I'm going to do is freeze those in a little carton, and then we'll have this again maybe one day next week. Alright, see y'all next time.